These are a couple of polkas from the dance that they do is Kerry polkas. The two tunes are the Wicklow and the Waxford. They're very simple tunes. They're what I think the term single reels.
Now I'd like to tell you a story, because the Shanahys place, has a great place in the Irish tradition. And this story is called The Shaman and the Sea Maiden. Frank's
that story came from Donegal, and there's, as Marion said, there's quite a lot. This association of seals and humans is well known all along the northern seaboard of Europe. There's a story, a song, the
Great Silky.
The Great Silky, and apparently there's a version of the Great Silky found in Finland.
Went from Scandinavia.
Over the Scandinavian countries, and there's even been versions of it have been collected or created. The versions of the same story have been collected and created in the eastern seaboard of Canada. But this tune is called Maidin Mhara, which is the Sea Maiden, and it comes from the same area as that story.
Castle of Drummond. She's talking about she wants her baby saved from Clan Owen's wild band Shane. At the same time, she's praying to the Virgin Mary. You know, in one of the verses.
Our lonely
turned to dust long ago, but we still think of her as a bit of a yahoo. Go.
Oh, do you know her or do you not?
This often mistress that we have got. Oh, Elsie Thompson, it is her name, and she hangs her coat on the highest pin. Raddy rifle ra, raddy rifle ree. On a Monday morning when she comes in, she hangs her coat on the highest pin. She turns around just to greet her friends, saying, all you doffers, tie up your ends. Raddy rifle ra, raddy rifle ree. Tie up our ends, we will surely do. All for Lizzie, steady, our hearts are true. Tie up our ends, we will surely do. All for Lizzie Murphy, but not for you. Raddy rifle ra, raddy rifle ree.
Oh,
Lizzie Murphy, are you going away? Is it tomorrow, is it today? You're going away and will break our hearts. There'll be no one here now to take our parts. Raddy rifle ra, raddy rifle ree. Oh, do you know her or do you not? This often mistress that we have got. Oh, Elsie Thompson, it is her name, and she hangs her coat on the highest pin. Raddy rifle ra, raddy rifle ree. And it was all done wet. And I never remember our Jean having skin between her toes from she was 17 until she got married at 23, because the whole process is done in an atmosphere of heat and moisture. If the linen gets dried, it becomes brittle and breaks, so it has to be all worked. Horrible conditions. Like I talk about coal miners. Coal miners aren't any worse off than anybody else. This is I'm going to try and play a couple of tunes. One of them's a set dance called, actually I dedicate it to the Reverend Ian Paisley. It's called The Orange Rogue. And the other tune is Kitty's Rambles.
had them gained, she scornfully disdained. Many's a clever young man, heart-wounded went away. At length there came a suitor from Claudy far to court her, with scorching burning flames to thaw her frozen heart. Says she, young man, retire, your suit I don't admire, nor is it my desire a single life to part. Your passion for me smother, and go and court some other. So he went next Wednesday evening to one he had in view. He went and courted Sally, and left disdainful Molly. With tears of melancholy he gave her time to rue. About 6 weeks or better, she wrote to him a letter. He sent her back an answer and sealed it with disdain, saying when you could you would not, now you would you need not. So read these lines and grieve not, my answer is quite plain. So come all ye maids, take warning by me and my misfortune. Never slight the young man, this master of your heart. For if you lightly spurn him, you'll find him not returning. You'll end your days in mourning, 'tis I that knows the smart.
We were in Galway, called a Gaelic song called the Cuckoo of Glenniffin. The merchant's daughter is set like a hornpipe, a rhythm. Yes, it must be in 4/4 time. But this other tune, I think, it was originally in 9/8. It's very brief, but let me hear your thing, mate.
Today.
We're not professionals, you know. We'd have starved to death if we had been. And it's a lovely wee tune. And just as a matter of interest, if that tune's still in your mind, like just listen to what it was, the way it was before. That was the more or less what the original tune. And Margaret says, well, the words were.
Well, actually, this happened quite a lot in Irish music. The slowers, if you try it sometime when you're on your own, slow a hornpipe down, and it's a beautiful slow air.
Roaches is a hornpipe.
Yes, play them, Roaches. What do you hear?
That's quite a plaintive sort of little melody. Miss McLeod's reel. Apparently they're both the same tune.
I've heard
We never waste a thing.
Lily Bolero.
Bolero? Oh yeah.
And it's what the lullaby.
Oh yeah.
Baby.
Yeah. Well, Lily Bolero was supposed to be a druid march, really.
Yeah,
What was the words, Margaret? There's something.
Lily Bolero actually means hi ho for the lily. You know?
Where are we now on the list?
Sorry.
It's all right, mate. No, it's good people interrupt because it gives
Well,
us
you were
time.
going to do John McGee about you promised that man you do the
Oh
wife
yeah, I
option.
said it. I'll try and. It's a long time since I've
The
sung it,
wife
but try and,
option.
I will try and remember.
You better tell everybody that you used to do this.
We were just talking, this man and I were talking out there about marriages are a comparatively new thing in the society we live in. And I think even in my young day, I used to hear my mother talking about such and such a one, there's your woman's. But she never referred to him as husband. Or quite often, there's such and such a one's woman there. And there was other people who...
How's your man?
How's your man? And there was other people who the honourable title of husband or wife was reserved for only a few people. And looking back in hindsight, maybe these neighbours of ours weren't all married after all. But I'm only speaking about when I was a child. But the thing of interest is that the last auction of a wife was supposed to have been in Nottingham in about 1870. Now, Robin Morton has a book in his, a song in his books, folk song sung in Ulster called, was it John McGee?
John McGee.
Sorry, it's called John McGee. Hold that, I need both hands in my pockets to be able to sing. She was a hard-working woman, but the devil all her life. Neither peace nor contentment this poor man could find, till the way to get rid of her come into his mind. Diddly-eye-diddly-eye-diddly-eye-diddly-do. It's our chorus, you see, but we'll have to go quick. It was on a Friday morning that she gave him some a jaw. So see now I can auction you according to the law. So he printed on her forehead that for auction she would go, and the more that the bidders were, the sooner she'd be sold. Diddly-eye-diddly-eye, diddly-eye-diddly-eye-diddly-do. Now a farmer from Kilkenny for the auction he did wait, with his mouth lying open like a 9-foot gate. He said, such a pretty woman I have never saw before, and the more that the bid for her, he bid the shilling more. Diddly-eye-diddly-eye, diddly-eye-diddly-eye-diddly-do. A farmer from Killarney who just happened to pass by bought this old geezer for shillings 25. Now he being a widower and a neighbour of their own, so she jumped on the cart and they both went home. Diddly-eye-diddly-eye, diddly-eye-diddly-eye-diddly-do. Now to conclude and finish and to end upon my strife, poor old John McGee, he's gone home without his wife. May the devil follow after him, the auctioneer did say. Amen, said the woman, and they all joined to pray. Diddly-eye-diddly-eye, diddly-eye-diddly-do. Bit daft, but it suits this purpose.
What are you going to do next?
I don't know.
We'll do some farmer the nut forests, hazelnuts, and there would be no sorrow on her and no harsh penances. People used to do terrible penances. They used to climb mountains and all, you know, on their bare feet, jagged rocks and all, you know. And they would get married and he would be very, very happy. That's the gist of the story. Very romantic, really. Yes. Go over here. Get rid of this row.
Come on.
All right.
Don't like you not moving my shoulder.
Anyway, you like the tune. Is your fall now in Cacorso, San Mountain of Marmee. forest groweth I can take in fast slim a warning is a George must our love all be to go down gone in is noch min Trinona no mighty knower noch to shall be I should not mount is not clear taken over neither on broke no thee ach never Armaville story is no longer broader ere
No, I don't know if needs to be up yet.
Is that the queen she had 4 hands?
It's interesting about these Marys because Mary was the name of a servant as well. Terrible to get a frog in your throat. Word is to the kitchen gone, and word has reached the home, and word is up to Madam the Queen, and that's the worst of all, that Mary Hamilton's born a bit to the highest sure to fall. Arise, Mary Hamilton, arise and tell to me what thou hast done with thy leaving. I heard and weep by thee. I put him in a tiny boat, and I cast him out to sea, that he might sink or he might swim, but he'd never come back to me. Arise, arise, Mary Hamilton, arise and come with me. There is a wedding in Glasgow town, this night we'll go and see. And as they rode into Glasgow town, the city for to see, the bailiff's wife and the probost's wife cried out in the lass for thee. You needn't weep for me, she cried, you needn't weep for me, for it I
looked off with a pitiful leer. Come down, Mary Hamilton, this night you'll dine with me. Ah, hold your tongue, my sovereign liege, and let your folly be. For if you'd a mind to save my life, you'd never have shamed me. Last night I washed the Queen's feet and put the gold in her hair. But the only reward I find for this, the gallows to be my share. Last night there were 4 Marys, tonight there'll be but 3. There was Mary Seaton and Mary Beaton and Mary Carmichael and me.
The 4 Marys. Full of drama.
Carlisle was in the habit of staying in. And one night someone came in and played a piece of violin music, and it was supposed to be, I think it was a Corelli concerto. And O'Carlin had been blind for many years. He wasn't blind at birth. I think he was blind when he was about 16 with diphtheria. Smallpox. But he had a remarkable ear for music. And as soon as this person played this piece of music, O'Carlin repeated it immediately on the harp, note for note. I reckon he was note perfect. And then he says, I'll play you my concerto. And he immediately, nobody had ever heard him playing this before, whether he had it at the back of his mind or whether it just came out. Did you ever hear that? Have you heard that yet?
Another variation.
But yeah,
The stuff that legends are made of.
Irish men have got reputations for being very bombastic, so he could have been one of the rest. So. But this other wee thing I'll try and play. I don't play it very well, but it might give you some idea of the type of music that was being written at that time.
wait until their parents died before they could inherit the farm. And that meant that maybe they were about 60 or something, maybe older.
The young girls were 60.
No, I'm talking about men.
Oh, the men.
And then they set out to look for a wife, and they always wanted someone about 16 or 17 to give them lots of healthy sons to carry on the farm, and the same thing was repeated. Now, the cottages in those days were very small, and the bed was always pushed hard against the wall, you know. And the wife traditionally lay to the inside of the bed up against the wall. And this song is called Roll Me From the Wall. When I was young some years ago, from trouble I was free. The boys they used to court me, and how dearly they liked me. They often said how happy I'd be when the winter storms would fall. If I had for mine a use of time to roll me from the wall. Now this old man came courting, he was fourscore and 10. He had long grey hair and a curly beard, but he had golden store. There wasn't a trace along his faithful youthful sign at all. And I was told he was too old to roll me from the wall. When my parents heard about it, sure they got very bold. They said you'll have to marry him if he is twice as old. Just to satisfy my parents, I went without a brawl. But sorely he neglected me to lie beside the wall. Now this old man was feeble, and his bones were cold as clay. And like a frozen iceberg he there beside me lay. I often laid in bed and prayed that the Lord would on him call. And I'd have for mine just a wife to roll me from the wall. After 6 long months of married life, this old man took sick and died. He left me all his money as I stood there by his side. With money and land at my command, I might enjoy them all. And I'd have the use of time to roll me from the wall. When the funeral was over and all things said and done, I got wed to a nice young man, I thought the sun shone on. But very soon he'd all gone through my money, land and all. And now I suffer dearly for my rolling from the wall.
We were talking here the other day about the unusual measure of some tunes, especially Gaelic tunes. This is a tune called Being Dubh na Glana, is it? The Dark Woman of the Glen. And because it was written for Gaelic poetry, if you listen to the measure of the music, it sounds quite strange. Well, I think it is anyway. And afterwards, this came from the fiddle playing of an old fella called Sean Maguire. I think Sean Maguire is about 75 at the present time, and he lives in America, but he originally came from County Fermanagh, and apparently there'd been 300 years of fiddle players in the family, so he didn't have to go very far to learn to play. And the second tune is a hornpipe that I like called The Drunken Sailor. And it came from a family in Donegal called Doherty. And the Dohertys were tinkers by profession. I don't mean gypsies, they were pot menders, and they used to go around Donegal, and I think they spent more time they collected songs and collected music, and I think they forgot all about mending pots, but they were called Doherty. There was 3 of them living not so long ago, but I think that the entire family has died. I've never heard any of them mentioned. It's called The Drunken Sailor. The first tune is The Dark Woman of the Glen. Sorry.
The sunny nights, we have lived the snow white lane. She bid me take life easy as the leaves grow upon the tree. But I, being young and foolish, and with her did not agree.
This is one of man's oldest instruments. They were found in Egypt, in ancient Egypt, and they were found all over, nearly all over the world, these little bones, and the Spaniards had castanets and all the rest of it. And they can be made from wood or bone or ebony. I've got an ebony one. They've got a different sound, but this was a friend of mine. We were talking about it once, and when we were children, we used to get the slates down the shore. And rather than this man here must have done it too, and play wee tunes and sing along to them, you know. And this just came back to me, and so Ted, remember Ted Miller? He made me one for each hand, but I've lost the other one. We'll see how they go anyway. And they're curved like that, you see. But you hold them like that, and when you get them going, whistle me up a tune.